Alright, first time shooting with the GoPro, just doing some radiator hoses here on my girlfriend's car, replacing these nasty ones with the silicone hoses. The radiator is already drained. I flushed the system, had that running through there for the last couple days, driving it around a bit. So start with a simple one first and just hopefully pop this top hose off. And I'm doing this because these hoses are sort of old and crusty, but this one, especially here at this end, just had a persistent leak anyway, so I figure instead of just popping a new rubber hose on, might as well just spend a couple extra bucks and get the good silicone hoses. Alright, that's that one off. And this kit, which I got from Moss Motor, comes with new little clamps, which are the kind that aren't serrated, like these ones here, how they have the holes all the way through them. That just ends up, biting into the hoses. So smooth ones are much better. So let's see if we can pop this on. Not sure which the best way is. No, put the clamp on first. And, okay, goes on there. Get our clamp in place here, and give just a little bit of bending and wiggling. Yeah, that one was fairly straightforward. I think I have a lower one down there, which I'll get you a better angle at later. Yeah, it has this, it comes from down here and has this line that branches off of it. And then there are just two hoses that go to the heater back there, so fairly simple hose setup. I think when I worked on my Civic over there, it was probably like 8 or 9 hoses, and I don't think they're all done yet even. So make sure we're behind the flare there. We have a flare on the radiator pipe at least. Over on this side it's just straight cast iron, so hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. And there's that one. So next, see how I can get to that. Yeah, next probably get to the lower hose. Just have to find a good way to get at all the screws, since nothing's turned conveniently. When I put these in, it makes sense to have them positioned in a way that you can get to them easily later. Maybe they were using some super stubby screwdrivers on there or something, but I'll take a look at it and proceed. Alright, next gonna do this big lower hose. Runs all the way down here. Hopefully the lighting's decent. Wasn't getting that great of low light capture on here, so I had to bring out my little floodlight. And apologies for noise, got airplanes. Don't know if this thing picks them up. I also have a neighbor who might be mowing their yard, but I'm gonna try to squeeze around the light here and get this lower hose off as well. Start with this one because it's up here and easy. And there goes my light because the battery's dead. So let me replace that. That one is crusted on there. There we go. Tube might use some looking at some point. I've seen people who have replaced this and actually run their own little custom, like just a piece of copper tubing, run it over the top there, and that looks pretty good. I have a new valve cover, so maybe when I go to do that, I'll look at that as a some sort of solution, because this end is pretty crusted up, and I imagine the other end is going to be about the same. Get to this hose at all? Not really. I have to get a tiny ratchet out to get at that one. And this lower one, I don't even know where that is. I have to go underneath. Okay. It's pretty easy to get out from under here. Probably could have done this lower hose first and maybe had a little more clearance on getting at this top clamp. I'll go see if I have a stubby screwdriver on that ratchet. Enough room with my long reach. I have a 10 on there. I know this is all standard, since I think this was before they started doing everything metric, but since most of my work is on Japanese cars, I don't have as many standard ratchets, which I'm sure that'll be remedied in short order. Pull the lower hose connection off, see if that'll give me any leverage to pry up on here. Give this a twist or something. No, not yet. Torn the glove. Oh no. Okay, come on, it's moving a good bit, but turn a bit more. It should. Yeah. There we go. Alright. Here's that one. Get my old clamp out of there. And that's honestly bound to be the most difficult one, because the other two are just right on top of the motor. So let me grab that hose. And so if I put this clamp on this way, hoping if I have it situated in that orientation, that'll let me just get at it with the screwdriver right from here on the top. And this one, since it was fairly easy to get at from the bottom, I'll just go that way with it. So, alright, bottom hose on. And I actually may need to cut that bottom hose, because I'm getting a crimp in this. At this point, so yeah, because I have it all the way seated, and maybe I have a little more room. Let me just try, making sure it's fully down there. Hopefully I don't have to cut it. I mean, it should be proper length for a main hose like this. Got a bit of a kink in it, but hopefully when this is fully seated on there, that'll go away too. Loosen this up a touch. I don't think I'd be able to get it over the flare. So here's a flare on this one. Okay, not too bad. I might have a little more wiggle room down here. Just barely. I mean, it looks like that lower bit of hose could probably have a centimeter come off of it and just be seated nicely. This guy up under here. Yeah, this one comes up here way long. force all that on there, so I'm just gonna go grab my snips and cut. Yeah, 2 or 3 centimeters off of this one, maybe 2. Alright, that's good. Here's the flare here. There's enough material behind it that it'll be good. Definitely should have done this hose last. Now I'm just in my way. Get my longer screwdriver. Undo it a bit more to get over that flare. Yeah, definite dummy maneuver putting this one on first, because now it's just completely in my way. And I should be able to get it sorted. There we go. Alright, so lesson learned there. Lower radiator hose first. And just to get underneath and sort that bottom pipe out. I do find it interesting that my Civic sits higher than this, but with the position of the radiator and cross member and everything, since the radiator sort of sits on the front cross member, and this radiator in the MG is, you know, well ahead of the cross member, I can easily get a 5-gallon bucket under here to drain this, whereas I had to cut the top 2 rings off a 5-gallon bucket to get it under the Civic. So, chalk one up for British Leyland. Alright, now for some repositioning of the camera, and do the top hose here and this one back down here. Those both go to the heater. Alright, battery's drained quick as shit on this little GoPro. See if I can get these knocked out before then. I've got this heater hose here and this little bit of heater hose here. I'm just shooting these videos sort of like as a beginner's guide to doing stuff on the MG. I've worked on other cars before. I've never owned an MG. This is my first one. It's my girlfriend's dream car, so picked it up for her. And you know, just tweaking things here and there. I did the exhaust. I wish I had the GoPro at the time, but I did not. I picked it up just recently. Came in yesterday actually, so alright, on with these hoses. We can see this one, it's just this little jog here, but the hose I have, the hose that I supply with, and these are sort of just universal hoses that you can get. Yeah, this top one maybe custom made for it, this bottom one definitely custom made for it, you know, unless there are other vehicles that besides MG that use this type of weird split off hose thing. I don't think so, but yeah, I don't know every single car out there. But so what I need to do is pull this off and then, you know, cut this basically to length. So get these out of the way for the moment. And pull this heater hose off. I'll need to try to keep an eye on the GoPro to make sure the battery doesn't die mid-filming. And if it does, I'll probably just pick up afterwards. But since I think this is sort of the home stretch of it, this is the easier part. And this is, this is going to be going up on YouTube, so if anybody has comments or anything, about what I'm doing, tips, tricks, feel free to let me know. Like I said, I'm new to working on MGs, and I'm sure I don't know all there is about it. I'm hopefully in radiator hoses there's not too much I can screw up here. But we'll see. Alright, there's that hose off. Yeah, there's definitely some crusty built up in there. The flush didn't get, but it got a lot out, so I'd call that good enough. I'm basically start taking, getting a rough measurement of, these two, just for size comparison, and I'll clip this one maybe just a smidge longer, just to give myself some wiggle room, because I do have a lot of area on here that this could be seated onto. My nice fresh clamps here. And just pull this basically as far up to, try to get it as not kinked as possible. Alright, there we go. Alright, now on with the other side. And this one looks like it's run into the actual heater control on the inside of the car. GoPro is still flashing at the moment. Hopefully it stays running. I'll hopefully get a better hang of that as I use it more. And I have the little skeleton case on there with the open back. I don't know how the audio is. I know I tried shooting a video with the fully enclosed case and couldn't hear anything. I guess that's meant for if you're doing like extreme sports or something. Maybe if it was on the car, like as an actual shot camera, had it mounted to the car while you were driving, then it'd be good. But I love this one, but it's probably picking up some background noise. People are remodeling a house down the street, and loud trucks and all sorts of fun stuff. So that one popped right off there. A little bit of crusty action in there. Not too bad. Alright. And same thing over here. Cut this one roughly to length. I'm just going to use one end of it for reference. And take off right about there. Give myself about an extra centimeter on it. And face these this way. It'll be easier to get it on the back side of the heater control versus coming around on this side of it. So, pop that on there until it's fully seated. It's wiggly. I don't know if that's normal. They're that wiggly. I don't know what the heaters are like on these things. Just Still recording, so apologies if you catch me looking at the camera a lot. I'm not even sure what the, I know this is a pretty wide angle. I'm not sure how wide it is. Okay, there's that one. And this one. Much nicer. So now it's just a matter of going through and double check all my connections, make sure they're snug, top it up with coolant, make sure there are no leaks. I think at least I saw a couple guys, their procedure was run it up to temperature, let it cool back down, and then check, see if there's any extra air in the lines. I guess I don't know if these tend to get more air in them, possibly because there are parts of it that the coolant lines sit a lot higher than the radiator fill. At least this one's slightly so. I don't know how much the top of the heater is and all that stuff. But yeah, so that was it. Fairly straightforward. 4 hoses. Do the front lower first, and you should be good. That's it for this one.